Shalom, my name's Kanawak from GMS Toronto. Doing another lesson here. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Today's date is December 22nd, Friday, December 22nd, 2017. We're coming to a new year, the end of the year. We're coming to a new year, 2018, and things are gonna get worse in this society, and prophecies are gonna speed up, man. As you could see here, if you're looking at the screen, it says Oklahoma City mayor demands rights for the pedophiles. It's the same as being gay. Okay, so like this is what these government is trying to push now. They're trying to push this whole pedophilia. They're trying to make it legal, where they're able to sodomize little children and do what they want. Basically, do as thou wilt. So that whole that guy, I forgot his name. That Mason, where like that was his slogan. His name slipped my head right now. Do as thou wilt. Like that's basically like that's like like that's like a religion of the or that saying is a very popular saying amongst these Illuminati, amongst these Masons, man. Do as thou wilt. I'm gonna look up the guy's name. I forgot his name. And he was a pedophile as well, man. Like the guy who made that quote, or what's his name? I probably gonna do a lesson on this quote, man. What's his name again? Aleister Crowley. Yeah, which that guy was a pedophile, man. And this shows you that the people who run this society are a bunch of pedophiles. People who's in government, who's CEOs of companies, who's big realtors and so on, entertainers. That's a ritual. Like what they're all into, man. And the Most High is gonna destroy these people for that, because like how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, it's the same way how this society is gonna be destroyed, because this is even worse than Sodom, man. These people are doing surgeries on people where they're making a man look like a woman and a woman look like a man and all these stuff, taking out different hormones or organs and transferring these organs on different genders, man, and just causing confusion, man, which is against nature. It says it says this guy's name is Kirk Humphreys, which he's the current mayor of Oklahoma City. Kirk Humphreys said pedophiles should have the same rights as gay people. A top government official and former Oklahoma City mayor, Kirk Humphreys, has caused outrage after saying pedophiles should have the same rights as gay people because sleeping with little boys is okay during a live TV discussion. So these people are coming out saying it's okay to sleep with little boys, which is totally off, man. And these people is gonna get judged for that, because nowadays you can't have nowadays you can't even trust these teachers in these schools and stuff, man, because you don't know what the hell is going on in their minds at these daycares and stuff. You have to keep a close eye on your child, man, because these people are a bunch of pedophiles, man. These Edomites, these so-called white men mainly, are a bunch of pedophiles, as well as these other nations. So you have to be so cautious if you have a little child or the like relative who's in your household, you have to watch over them, man. You know, um and let's say if anything was to happen to any of our children, like we, like according to the Bible, like like we should have the right to put them to death. But are we able to do that now? The white man will lock us up, man. So so ultimately, like, this is the reason why this kingdom has to be destroyed, and is going to be destroyed, because this is leading up to the like, this is going to lead up to the thermonuclear destruction, man. Because like how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, the same way how this is going to be destroyed, how this place is going to be destroyed, man. This is Revelation 18 and 5. This is a great chapter, but I'm going to get verse 5. For her sins, I read that, start at verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not of her plagues. So that's talking about the elect, and that's literally going to happen when the angels are going to gather their, when the angels going to gather the elect of Yahweh and Yahushai, which I hope I may be. I don't know if I am, but I hope I am, but those brothers who's out there who's been doing the works in truth and sincerity are going to be gathered up, and they're not going to feel that fire, man. That fire and brimstone, that nuclear fire, man. They're not going to feel that missile, man. Or those missiles. Because those missiles, one missile, when that explodes, or when a nuclear warhead explodes, it could reach up to 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit, man. So this place is gonna be a hot fire, a big furnace, man, on fire, man, for all the sins that's been done here, man. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. Alright, so so like, this place is gonna be destroyed with double destruction, man. And you people, or as mainly you Edomites, as well as you other nations, for you guys committing crime against the children of Israel, against the so-called blacks, the so-called Latinos and so-called Native Americans. You guys are gonna suffer, man, double. So all the hell that we caught, the slavery, the torture, the suffering, you guys are gonna suffer double, man. And be slaves, be subjects, because we're not gonna have no paper money in our kingdom. We're gonna have cattle, land, alright, and servants, and precious metals and stuff. And we're gonna need people to build, to build great houses, temples, and so on, to build, to mine. We're gonna need people to cater, to water our gardens, and etc. So so like, you people are gonna be our new money, man. You guys are gonna be, hardcore slaves, man. You guys are going in hardcore bondage, man. Dangerous. You guys are entering into dangerous waters, man, and you guys are coming closer to your end, man, for all these laws that you guys are passing, man. Let me just finish this. So reward her. Oh, let me just look up this word double, man. Sluck. Yeah, so the word double is either diplo or diplos. Alright, twofold, double. Alright? And that's what you guys are literally gonna suffer. You guys are gonna suffer twofold. So all the hell that we went through, the slavery, man, being carried on cargo slave ships, being fed to sharks, being fed to alligators. We're used as alligator baits, being hanged, lynched, being murdered for no reason, being shot down in the streets for no reason by these police, by these different Edomites and stuff, man. You guys are gonna suffer that double in our kingdom, man. So you guys, if you're Edomite looking at this or another nation, you guys should look up all this, like all the statistics of unarmed black men or unarmed Native American or unarmed like Latinos who shot down by these police, who's gone missing and all that stuff, man. You guys should look up all these stats, because it's gonna double on you guys, man. In our kingdom. I'm just using that as an example, but that's a perfect example, if you ask me. It says, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. Yeah, like how here there's been no like major war with no other nation other than our people on this land, man. So like these other nations and stuff, like they haven't invaded the lands of America or Canada, man. But the Third World War is gonna happen, and it's not gonna be no long war. It's gonna be a thermonuclear war, man. It's only gonna last for 1 hour. All right, and your kingdom's gonna be destroyed in 1 hour. All right, and just like what I said, it says in the next verse. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication. What's some of your fornication? Your pedophilia, your child sacrifice, your your slavery going on, your crimes, against us as a people, the Israelites, against these other nations as well. You guys are gonna have to pay for, man, against the life in general on this planet, against the cattle, like what's here, man, against the land, against these plants. You guys are gonna suffer, man. There's so much things that you could list, like what you people did, or these leaders of these other nations, the Illuminati, and these people who's a part in these other nations, that's a part of their council, the heads of these other nations. There's so much stuff that you could list. It says, and live deliciously with her, and shall bewail her and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning. So this place is gonna burn for a long time, man. For a long time. And we don't know how long it's gonna burn for, but it says it's gonna burn for a long time, man. Stand afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's gonna happen, man. So get back to this article. You could also read Genesis like 18, and 19 and stuff, going into Sodom and Gomorrah. And the same way how Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, it's pretty much the same way how this place is going to be destroyed, and it's never going to be inhabited again. Sodom and Gomorrah, that's just ashes, man. That's just sand now. As a great city as great of a city this Sodom and Gomorrah was, and the 3 other cities, the Most High destroyed them, man, because they're wicked. Because they're wicked Hamites who was into the same thing, man. The homosexuality, the pedophilia, the sacrifice, and all these things. And the Most High gave them a chance. Make me get that. Or the Most High, yeah, he gave them a chance because Abraham, he pleaded for them, man. Because his nephew Lot was in that land, man. Make me just get that point. Says Genesis 18 and 16, and the men rose up from thence and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing Abraham seeing seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him, which is talking about the Israelites, the 12 tribes. For I know that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. And the Lord said, because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. If not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner. To slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, if I find 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which I am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou also destroy all the city for the lack of the 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do for 40's sake. And he said unto him, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall be 30 found there. And he said, I will not do it, if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy for 20's sake. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and speak yet but one. And he said, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way as soon as he left communion with Abraham, and Abraham returned to his place. And you could read the next chapter, but the angels came unto Lot, Abraham's nephew, and as they went to his Lot's house, the men of Sodom, they wanted to to have their way with the angels, man. So that was like the cry went out from thence, man, and the Most High gave the green light to the angels, man, and it got busy from there, man. Read that next chapter, man. And ultimately that place was destroyed, and the number of righteous people that's on the earth right now, or who's going to be made righteous, because right now we're just rehearsing the righteous acts in these filthy bodies, this filthy flesh. But the Most High chose a number of people that he's going to spare, 144,000 and a multitude, that he's going to spare from the judgment, man. But any of those people who's not of that number, of the 144,000 or of that multitude, they're going to be caught up in that judgment, man. And yeah, man. And this is pretty much the point. You could read this article yourself. I didn't want to make this lesson too long, but yeah, man, this is pretty much the point, man. And this is what these Sodomites, which these modern day white people are Edomites, aka Sodomites. You guys are gonna be destroyed, man. And you guys get ready for your judgment, man, because the cry unto heaven is is almost gone up, man. You know, it's almost your sin is almost reached to the height of heaven, man. You know, and you guys are going to be completely destroyed, man. But with that, I'd like to say Shalom and Kwam Yasha'Allah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, of whom I learned this truth from. And peace and blessing to the brothers out there who's doing the works in truth and in sincerity. I'd like to say Shalom and Kwam Yasha'Allah, and death to these pedophiles, and death to these heathen, man. Death to the powers that be. You know, and Kwam Yasha'Allah.